In this video, I'm going to show you how to pull a sample into the Force. Go ahead and chop up that sample and make a drum program. Check it out. Alright, so Akai's just released the Force, so I want to make a few videos really fast, going ahead and showing the workflow and how to go ahead and chop up a drum sample, go ahead and make a drum program, and maybe even, playing that drum program inside of a clip. So let's go ahead, and the first thing we got to do is get the sample in there and chop it up. So I'm going to go to an empty project. So you can see right there, plain empty project. So my empty projects by default have a plugin and an audio track. What I want to do is actually go to my menu here, and you can see right here, there's a browser function. All right, so now I could choose from any of these audio clips in here if I wanted, and just type drum in the search here and chop that up if I wanted. But I have my own in here. So if I tap one, that's going to take me to the shortcut. But if I go to places right there, that's my SD card that I have in there. So what I can do is go to that SD card, come down here. I'm going to go to this folder here. So this is actually the samples folder on that SD card. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go into the live breaks. And now I'm going to pick one of these folders, go into that folder, pick one of these folders. And now whenever I scroll through these, I have Audition to Auto. So you should be able to hear them. All right, so I'm just going to find one I like. All right, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to load that. So I tap load, it confirms it, it said loaded. So what I'm going to do now is go to menu, and you can see right here, there's a sample editor. This is the only sample in the sound pool. So if I go into there, it's going to show me all my samples. It's the only one there, so it's going to pull it up there. So the first section it brings you into is trim. So if I wanted to trim this down, I could do that, but I want to tap that. It's going to take me over to chop. You can see right here, the samples here. I got manual mode, so I can add my chops manually by moving the playhead and pushing add slice, or for the sake of simplicity and just showing you how to do one really fast, I'm going to go to threshold. All right, so now it basically sliced it up pretty good, but sometimes it might be like this. So if you look, whenever I pick threshold, it might be like this, where it has 41 different slices, and all those slices are like all over the place. But if you just mess with this and this, you can kind of get it manageable. So there's 14 there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, if you want to hear your sample, you could push that. All right, and that's going to play it wherever your play cue is right there. So if you want to hear what these samples are, like I can hear that that's a hi-hat. I can hear that's a snare, what have you. All right, so what I'm going to do at this point is go ahead and kind of fine tune it. If you look here, there's a button that says knobs. I'm going to press that. It's going to bring this up. I'm going to tap screen. So it puts the knobs to control whatever's going on the screen here. So what I'm going to do at this point, you can see these knobs correlate to whatever's going on. So, all right, so this last one is zoom. So I want to zoom in, okay? And this second to last one here is actually scroll. So I can scroll and I can look at the endpoint of that first chop, and I can see that it looks pretty good. What I can do is I want to keep it on link slices, which basically means where the first slice ends, the second one begins, and so on. And I'm just going to make sure that these endpoints, if I tap endpoint, I want to make sure these endpoints aren't going too much into the next sound. All right, so that one looks pretty good. All right, and then right here, I can select the slice. So I'm just going to go to slice 2. That one looks pretty good. All right, and I want to check slice 3. All right, that looks pretty good. Go to slice 4. All right, it's looking pretty good. I could even back off if I wanted. You can see, boom, that slice selected. All right. And now the reason why I'm doing this is whenever you do by threshold, it's not always perfect. So sometimes you got to edit the start and end points. So like this one here is a little off. I can bring it forward Generally it's pretty good, but I could bring this forward a little bit if I wanted to. So you can see right here. So this one's going to change the start point by 10. This one's going to change the start point by 1,000. This one's going to change the endpoint by 10. So I want to change the endpoint on that. And just kind of get it really close. Now, I'm so zoomed in, you're probably not going to be able to tell the difference in the end, you know, just to show you this process. All right, so I want to select the next slice. All right, so I want to zoom in there. All right, so this one looks like it's a little bit off. So I'm going to pull the endpoint back just a little bit, and that should be good. Then I'm going to go to the next slice, slice 8. All right, and let me zoom out. Let's see what's going on there. All right, that should be pretty good. And I want to go to slice 9. So select slice, slice 9. All right, that's looking pretty good. Let's see. So I might bring it back a little bit. All right, so slice 10. Might want to bring that a little bit back because it's kind of, it's like not on the line directly. It might be okay. So I'll pull this one back a little bit. That's a hair. Right there should be good. And I'll go to slice 10. Zoom in on that endpoint. I can change the endpoint if I want. All right, go to slice 11. All right, you kind of get the picture here, right? Change the endpoint. All right, go ahead and go to slice 13. Zoom in on the endpoint. All right, and now remember what I was saying, where one slice ends, the other begins. So if I get the endpoint where I want it, it's going to start the next slice right there. So I don't have to change the start point of the next slice. I just have to change the endpoint. And you know, it's pretty good. So that's the last slice, so it should be fine. All right, so you can see here, I have it chopped up. So what I want to do is go ahead and push shift, and we get these options at the bottom here. All right, so if you push convert, you can see new drum track using slices. I'm going to go ahead and push do it. So now I'm done with sample edit for the moment. I should be good to go. So let me show you here on the matrix. All right, so I got my plugin audio, and then right here is a completely new track. All right, so whenever I push create new drum program, it made that. So if you look here, these pads are kind of independent of what's going on your screen. So I'm on launch mode, and then I got note mode. So if I go to note mode, these are the 14 different slices that we created. So listen. All right, so it sounds pretty good. So what I want to listen for is any weird pops or anything at the end. You can hear the sample kind of ends abruptly. Now that could be a few different reasons, but we can edit this. So if we go to menu, and then track edit, since I had that track selected, it's going to take me into whatever was on that track. So you can see here, we got options. All right, so the first thing I want to do with this is make this right here poly. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm making it to where I could play 2 drums at the same time. So that's all that does. All right, so there's a couple things I want to do as well. Is I want to go to my LFO modulation. So I have a hi-hat here, and I got a snare that has a hi-hat here. So I actually want to use these in the sequence. So I want to link these together. All right, so what I mean by link them together, I want to put them in a mute group. This way, whenever I trigger one and the other one's still going, it cuts off the other one. So let me show you. So I'll tap that pad. Okay, that's pad 801. I'll put it on mute group 1. This is A12. I'll put that on mute group 1. So now whenever I tap this and then tap this one right after, it's going to choke the other one. So listen. So when I hit it, it rings out, but when I go like this, it chokes it. So there's a few more things I want to do, because if you listen, It's kind of like the sample ends abruptly. All right, it almost sounds like it's popping. So it could be a few different things. So if you look at samples here, you could actually zoom into that sample. So I could change the endpoint and see if I can get it a little bit smoother. But keep in mind when I change that endpoint, so it sounds a little bit better. All right, so you don't hear that weird popping. So I could do that with all the samples, but sometimes like this one's doing it too a little bit. All right, so some of the sounds, are just ending abruptly. So what I want to do is go to my filter and just mess with these envelopes. So if I just mess with this one, if I tap into there, I could pull the decay back. All right, I can make it really abrupt, but I really want to hear it. I just want to kind of smooth the tail of it off. So that sounds pretty good. So I'll just do that on a few of these. All right, so I think it sounded pretty good now. So if you listen to it, if you listen to me playing it here. All right, we got a decent sounding drum kit. All right, so there you go. That's how you basically chop up a drum sample and make your own drum kit inside of the Force. All right, you could do it right there. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can actually take this drum program and make your own clip. And basically what that means is just make a drum loop. All right, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and check out the next video. And I'll put a link right there. It's going to be a card. That's going to take you over to the playlist that I want to put these in. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and, as I'm learning this, put this out there for you guys so you can get like a first look at all this stuff and kind of get your own way of working with this particular product from Akai. All right, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you can check out the new videos when I come out with them. My name is Matthew. Continue to create music, and we'll talk soon. Peace.